What's up, people? Pura vida. Esoteric Warrior System, Esoteric Warrior series. We're going to talk Khabib versus Tony from an esoteric standpoint. The first thing we're going to talk about is a press conference and taunting. So, Khabib doesn't really give a shit to taunt anybody. What he likes to do is point out straight up facts. He's like 28-0, 29-0, whatever he is. I've got this belt. I smash Connor. I smash this guy. I smash that guy. And that's it. From an esoteric standpoint, that's awesome. Because you're not giving anything to your enemy, and the facts are daunting. So if you want to taunt somebody and, you're the better fighter, better record, you're the one with the belt, that's all you do, point out the facts. If you're lower than them, you want to rattle them, make them make a mistake. So what Ferguson's trying to do is he's talking about, I'll fuck you up in a street fight, your conditioning sucks, you're fat, whatever. These are personal attacks. Now, and then he says, I'm from Oxnard, I'm Mexican, and all that shit. That was stupid. That was stupid. When you taunt an opponent, you want to taunt with something that they can't do anything about. Khabib can get in better shape. I mean, all Ferguson's really doing is just giving Khabib motivation to focus. Right? If I was fighting Khabib, I would kiss his ass and try to make him as comfortable and lax as possible. And I would encourage him to do. I would kiss his ass. I talk about his charity work. That's what I would encourage him to do. Hey man, go help them Muslim kids. Ain't nobody helping Muslim kids like you. Want to get him off his game that way. Pissing Khabib off. All you're gonna do is get a more focused Khabib. That's not El Kukui. What a fucking. That's the bad way to. From an esoteric standpoint, that is a bad way to taunt. So his taunting wasn't really that bad. It was clever. He was able to push his buttons. He was able to get Khabib, kind of out of his headspace. But it wasn't fight day. He gave Khabib plenty of time to go home and refocus. And now he's going to go and be the most focused motherfucker in that fight that he can be. So, and then Khabib biting on Tony's taunts doesn't really win for Tony. I mean, Tony's going to go home, and if anything, he's going to be a little happy. Yeah, I got him. He's still going to be focused. He's still going to whatever, but it takes away a little bit of his I don't know, not focus, but it takes away a little something from Tony to feel like he got a victory. It gives him a little something. He's like, oh yeah, I know I can get Khabib off his game, but it also takes away a little bit of that bloodthirst, that being dialed in, So the fight is going to break out pretty simply. Khabib will take him down. Tony Furguson is just a crazy Conor McGregor. Where Conor McGregor wants to stand up and strike, Tony Furguson can take those heavy strikes anywhere. Bad platforms. That becomes an advantage because he can go non-traditional. He can give you a look that you're not used to. He can line up lefty and then line up righty. And all he did was just turn his shoulder. And that goes from being able to throw the jab with a strong hand to throwing the power punch with a strong hand. It's a great advantage. And that's why he gets power shots with both hands. It's a great advantage. And that's why I always tell people to learn how to strike from awkward platforms. Be able to strike flat-footed, be able to strike on one foot. Be able to strike, get on one knee and strike, get on the ground and strike. Just trade the kinetic energy, the serpentine energy. Because you need to be able to get something on it without throwing a whole lot into it wherever you are. If you're laying on your back, you still need to be able to throw one sideways just in case. So he takes away a little bit of Khabib's advantage because he can trade with him no matter what position Khabib puts him in. It's an advantage for Tony. However, when you're pressed up against the cage and Khabib is leaning on you and he's over your hips, because all he's got to do is get one judo leg down for leverage and rest his hips on something, and then Khabib can smash and beat you and pound you. When he transitions, goes from one side of the hips to the other side of the hips, or whenever he's trying to move the fight one way, because Khabib is really good at, if I do this, you got to do that or that. And no matter what you do, I have a plan for it. And he likes to give up submissions early, likes to give up advantages to transition to wrestling, right? So you have to capitalize on those transitions. Jiu-jitsu seems to be the best way to capitalize on that. I don't think Tony Furguson's got the best fucking jiu-jitsu. He got good jiu-jitsu. But does he have the best jiu-jitsu to overcome sambo and wrestling? Khabib's wrestling comes from Alexander the fucking Great. They went into Russia and wrestling merged with the judo and whatever else lived in the fucking Far East. Because in the mountain of Dagestan, in the Caucasus Mountains, is where the original Caucasians came from. They trickled down into Greece and the other parts of Europe, mixing with whoever the fuck was already there. So this whole thing about Aryan first, I don't know, whatever. But the people that came up with the term Aryan arguably came from the Caucasians in that mountain. Maybe they didn't. Maybe the Aryans were a different thing, merged with the Caucasian, became white people. Who knows? Whatever. You can go and read your books and argue about that later. What I'm saying is, the purpose why I'm saying this is that you have several different ancient forms of martial arts and mystery schools that converge in the Dagestani mountains there in the Caucasus Mountains, the Kafkas Mountains. So you have Khabib coming at you with fucking Alexander the Great's wrestling, sambo that merged from wrestling and then the other Far East fighting traditions. And then he's also coming at you with world-class grappling. World-class grappling. The only thing that he doesn't do is take the grappling and the guard, which kind of makes that jiu-jitsu. He doesn't like the guard. He likes the mount. So you take the guard, the principles of the guard, and flip it over with him on top. And that's what he does, because he likes to do judo from the top. And what I mean by judo is he likes to plant a leg, get another leg to hook, but this leg is going to be at a slight angle for leverage, and then he beats you and beats you and beats you. And then also with that leg, he can slip in, slip out, go in, go down, and lean. Lean. That is wrestling and sambo mixed with grappling at the highest level. Highest level. I can't explain. Highest level. So Tony Furguson does a lot of unconventional, untraditional shit, well, you could argue that fucking everybody else did a little of that. Tony Furguson, oh man, he could strike. So could Conor. Oh, Tony Furguson can kick. So could Conor. Tony Furguson can fucking strike from anywhere. So could Conor McGregor. The one thing no one can do is fucking do judo with the principles of the guard from the top while leaning on the opponent, driving the fucking fight into the cage and keep it there. And Tony Furguson is not going to beat Khabib's takedown. It's going to the ground. The only thing Tony Furguson can do is mess Khabib up with strikes when they're already on the ground from bad platforms, getting something on it from a bad angle, using elbows, because Tony Furguson does have the best elbows. He's got the best elbows. Conor McGregor ain't got Tony Ferguson's elbows. Those elbows are unreal. But Khabib also is getting better and better at striking. And I wouldn't be surprised if he has learned a thing or two from Zabit. Zabit, who uses the best it's a mix, but he uses a lot of judo takedowns. And what I qualify as judo takedowns is kind of non-clinch takedowns, trips, slip in, trip, fall, try to own the arm, things like that. Those are the principles I learned in judo. So I know that they exist in judo. And I know that they exist heavily in Sambo. Throws are, if you want to go to school for a throw, go to Sambo school for a throw. If you want to learn how to pin the opponent, go to wrestling in Dagestan. If you want to learn how to do submissions and fight from your back, back on the floor, fight from the guard, go learn jiu-jitsu. And if you want to strike, you go talk to McGregor and Ferguson. But anyway, so I see this fight getting a little nasty. And I see Khabib winning. If you had to push me and I had to bet something, I'd bet on Khabib. Although I don't like this fight for a bet. Because this fight could end early from a strike, either person, So, anyway, that's from an esoteric standpoint. You don't want to focus your opponent. You want to scare them. You want to get them thinking about something else. Tony Furguson probably put a little fear into Khabib, but it didn't work. It just got him more. The pissed off isn't going to get him off his game. The pissed off is just going to make him focus more. And, if I wanted to get to Tony Furguson fights from a wound. When you fight from a wound, you're wounded. It's easy. You could see it in his eyes, man. Roberto Duran fought from a wound. He lost a bunch. No mas. On with Sugar Ray. So Tony Ferguson's fighting from a wound, and that's not good. His balance is good. His balance ain't fucking great. Does a lot of flips, does a lot of kicks. His balance is good. It's good. It's not great. Zabit, his balance is great. His footwork is great. Tony Ferguson's footwork is good. It's unconventional. It's good. And it's almost great, but it ain't great. Khabib, his wrestling and his Sambo is great. And so here's coffee from a peanut butter jar. Actually, this is instant coffee with yerba mate, and chai tea, a little bit of each, cinnamon and cardamom. And it is fucking nasty. But I already drank my fucking yerba mate earlier and it didn't do enough. So there's for you.